in all stages of recruitment exercise of health workers under the Global Funds Program COVID-19. Secondly, the Commission is also part of the countrywide recruitment process of health workers. Remember, these two are separate exercises altogether. So the Commission has been working with the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development as well in sensitizing local government officials in order for them to ensure that the Constituency Development Fund guidelines are adhered to so that we can reduce opportunities of corruption in management of the fund and subsequently for its equal distribution within the constituencies where they are going to be disbursed. With regards to investigations, the Commission received a total of 306 reports of suspected corruption during the first quarter of 2022. Out of these reports received, a total of 148 were non-corruption related. Therefore, advice was subsequently provided to all those that brought these reports that are outside the Commission's mandate on how best to pursue the matters that were complained of. Of the 306 cases, 158 reports contained elements of corruption, and out of 158 reports, 132 reports were authorized for investigations. Some reports did not have sufficient details of the corruption offense to warrant any investigations to be conducted. And as such, 4 cases were referred to relevant institutions so that administrative action can be taken on them. The complainants in these matters were advised accordingly. By the close of the quarter, the Commission concluded and closed a total of 13 investigation cases. 11 arrests were also made countrywide, and the Commission had 61 cases before the courts of law, and 4 of the cases were concluded, resulting into 2 convictions. There were 6 cases pending judgment. There were no acquittals whatsoever recorded in any case before the court of law in the first quarter of the year. It is also worth noting that during the last quarter, the Commission handed over to the government a total of 65,333,46 kwacha and 57,900 United States dollars in recovered funds and forfeited to the state in a case of being in possession of property suspected to be proceeds of crime against Margaret Chiselam Sonda, alias Faith Sonda. Let's now turn to the status on some high public interest cases. Allow me to give you a brief status on some of these cases which have been in public domain, and some of you have actually sent us a number of press queries inquiring on the status of some of these cases. So number 1, possession of suspected proceeds of crime in form of a house at Kingsland City against Margaret Chiselam Sonda, alias Faith Sonda. In this particular case, following her arrest, the Commission has come across additional information in this matter concerning the same Faith Sonda, and this information has led to extended investigations. Number 2, the case of the 48 houses, where a senior accountant at the Ministry of Finance, Mr. Loyana, and his wife, Mrs. Loyana, an assistant accountant at the Ministry of Works and Supply, were jointly arrested and charged with 2 counts of corrupt practices that involved concealment of property valued at over 37 million kwacha, which is property reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime. This particular matter is before the fast track court. Number 3, the case involving illegal exportation of Mukula logs. The Commission arrested the Industrial Development Corporation IDC former Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Mateo Kaluba, and Zambia National Service Director of Operations, Maliwa Mwanei, for abuse of authority of office. A Lusaka businessman, Axon Tembo, was also arrested in this same matter that involved exportation of Mukula logs without following laid down procedure. The accused persons are yet to appear before the fast track court. Number 4, possession of property suspected to be proceeds of crime against former Lusaka Province Minister Bowman Lusambo and his wife Nancy Lusambo. The duo was arrested by the Commission, and they are currently facing charges of being in possession of property reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime worth $378,000 US. The matter is before the fast track court and is coming up on 17th May 2022. Possession of property reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime amounting to more than 539,000 United States dollars against PF Acting President Given Lubinda. Mr. Lubinda was arrested by the Commission and charged with the subject offense and is expected to appear the fast track court on 21st April 2022, which is tomorrow. The Honeybee case. The Zambia Medicines Regulatory Authority ZAMRA Director General Bernice Mwale and Principal Regulatory Officer Brian Kabika were arrested and charged with willful failure to comply with laid down and applicable procedure. The matter is before the fast track court and is coming up for ruling on 27th April 2022. Number 7, the social cast transfer case involving former Postmaster General Macpherson Chanda, former Finance Director Bess Mwaichi, and former Director Operations Isaac Kamwimba, who were arrested and charged with 13 counts of theft by public servants. The matter is in the fast track court in Ndola. The accused persons were found with a case to answer and they were put on their defense, which is commencing on 21st and it will also continue on 22nd of April 2022, which is Thursday and Friday. The arrest of former Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary Dr. Kenneth Malama and others involving the procurement of 50 ambulances. This particular matter is before the fast track court and is coming up on 12th May 2022 for plea on and commencement of trial. The next case is on the arrest of the Managing Director at Development Bank of Zambia, Dr. Samuel Bwalia, for alleged abuse of company financial resources which were used to pay for school fees both locally and abroad involving over 1 million kwacha. The accused person in this particular matter is yet to appear before the fast track court. The 10th case is possession of properties reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime against Lusaka businessman Emmanuel Mugala. This is in connection with possession of over 62 properties in various parts of Lusaka. The suspect was arrested by the Commission and he is expected to appear before the fast track court on 21st April 2022, Friday. Investigations into alleged possession and concealment of properties reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime against former State House Press Aide Amos Chanda. In this particular matter, investigations have reached an advanced stage. Number 12, seizure of properties worth 22.8 million kwacha suspected to be proceeds of crime located in Lusaka's Chamba Valley area belonging to former Lusaka Province Minister Bowman Lusambo. In this particular matter, investigations are ongoing. So the implications of the seizure notice served on Mr. Lusambo's property is that the Commission has taken total control of that particular properties and all the 8 pieces of properties that were announced to have been seized on Thursday last week by the Commission. And what this implies is that Mr. Lusambo has had no access whatsoever to the premises since the Commission seized the properties. If Mr. Lusambo tries by any means to sneak into that particular property, he will actually be committing an offense and the law will take its course. So I would like to emphasize that the particular property is actually in the hands of the Commission. The Commission has even placed police officers at that premises to guard it and safeguard any tampering that may happen to it, and so no one will be allowed to enter the premises, and it shall remain so until the investigations are concluded. So in addition to this particular case, the Commission, working with the Department of National Parks and Wildlife, has examined the wildlife, the animals that are actually at Mr. Lusambo's premises, and found that the animals are unhealthy and need to be relocated to a more suitable environment. And the animals that are there include 7 impalas, 2 axis deers, 2 zebras, 2 puku, and 2 waterbacks. The Commission is also still making efforts through the lawyers of Mr. Lusambo to ensure that he appears before the Commission. there are other allegations other than the possession aspect of it that he's facing currently. There are other allegations that have been leveled against Mr. Lusambo, and we want his lawyers to avail him to the commission for questioning because he has been elusive in the past few days. The commission is also aware of some fake news that has been going around on social media alleging that the commission sent officers to South Africa in an effort to seize properties that were suspected to be linked to Mr. Lusambo. Would like to categorically state here that this particular story is false, very malicious, a total fabrication that is intended to mislead the public and actually bring the name of the commission into disrepute. Would like to make this particular emphasis that that story is false because no officer of the commission whatsoever went to South Africa for this particular case to go and seize a property that is suspected to be linked to Mr. Lusambo. So those media reports are just trying to sway the public's confidence away from the commission, and that particular story is a total fabrication. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, it is the commission's desire that the public owns the fight against corruption by getting directly involved in reporting all suspected acts of corruption to the commission and influencing others to desist from engaging in corrupt practices. Public and private officials should see corruption as an affront, as an injury on socio-economic growth. It is a cost to everyone, and it should at all costs never whatsoever be tolerated. So the Commission therefore wishes to appeal to members of the public with information of possession of any property they reasonably so believe to have suspected to be proceeds of crime, to report to the nearest Commission offices. And to this effect, a reward will be given upon successful recovery of any such properties. And we also want to encourage members of the public to please utilize the toll-free line 5980 on any of the mobile networks for the phones that they are using to make these reports at no cost whatsoever to the Commission. I thank you all.
This was News on the Go, only on Diamond TV, television reinvented.
Here's a little song that we wrote for you. The words are very simple and they're only two. Scream it, just scream it.